named by Coach Hugo Broos. Still joined by Bongani Kumalo and Thomas Kwenaite. The squad is out. Bong, thoughts?
Well, decisions have been made, and, those are the guys that obviously will be on the plane and have the responsibility of, putting up a performance that all South Africans can be proud of. And, congratulations to each and every one of them, fully deserved. I think it's not the platform to having debates or who should be here, who shouldn't be there. That's the decision that we made, and those are the players that we should be backing fully.
Players that will be looking forward to getting their first caps. You look at player like Olwetu Makhanya. Of course, he's based in the United States of America. So, of course, he might be able to just acclimatize a bit better than the others.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. And I think not much is known about Olwetu Makhanya, but I think he had a breakout season last year. And there was also a video that went viral of him, having a tussle with Lionel Messi. And he's a good boy. He's he's earned his stripes. And as Bong says, we are very proud of the boys. We congratulate them. And what a heavy mandate from the state president giving Tebogo the South African flag.
Ronwen
Williams, I beg your pardon. And then telling him that go and represent the country. Heavy mandate there.
Heavy mandates indeed. Also interesting seeing a Bradley Cross in that 26-man squad named by Coach Hugo Broos. Oh, the World Cup is upon us. 15 days to go.
Program directors who have demonstrated that they are so able and capable of directing the proceedings. Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Gayton Mackenzie, ministers and deputy ministers who are also here present, the president of the South African Football Association, Dr. Danny Jordan, representatives of football organizations here present, the head coach, Mr. Hugo Broos, members of the national team and squad, members of the technical team, the sponsors who are also here present, members of the media who are doing so well tonight, broadcasting this very special occasion to the nation, and ladies and gentlemen, it does give me immense pleasure to welcome you all here tonight as we gather to celebrate a proud moment, an historic moment for South African football as a nation. Coach Hugo Broos has had a very difficult task of choosing 26 players amongst the 32 qualifying players that he needed to choose from. Or may I add that out of the 34, the other 2 were Minister Mackenzie and myself. So we go home disappointed that we were not chosen. I was hoping that I would be fielded as a striker, #1 striker, to score the very first goal against Mexico next week. But tonight, we say with confidence and pride and excitement that our coach has chosen the best team that is going to represent our country. And in many, many words, we have to say Bafana Bafana is back. They are back with belief, back with a purpose, they are back with courage, and they are back where they belong amongst the giants of world football. For many years, the people of South Africa have longed for this moment. Through triumphs and disappointments, and through difficult qualifying campaigns and rebuilding seasons, South Africans never stopped believing in this team. We supported you as a team in our homes, in our communities, in our stadiums, and in our hearts. And today, that faith has been rekindled and rewarded. By qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup for the first time in more than 2 decades, you have already written your names into the proud sporting history of our country. But fellow South Africans are not satisfied with just qualifying alone. No, we do not want group stages. We do not want early exits. We do not want to hear the words eliminated or bowing out. We want to see you compete with courage, determination, and belief until the very end. And I can say that I have some proof that you will do well. As I shook your hands, I could feel a very firm handshake from each one of you. And I looked into your eyes, I could see real fiery determination. And that told me that you are going to go to Mexico. You're going to the FIFA World Cup in Mexico, United States and Canada to play your hearts out and to play the best soccer, the best football ever. We want to see you bring that trophy back home. We do, as South Africans, believe that that trophy belongs here, and we want to see you bring it back here. As I gave you the flag, Captain, I whispered to you that we're giving you this flag, the national symbol of our country that unites all of us, so that you can wrap that cup in the flag and bring it back home. Sport has always possessed a unique power to inspire and unite our people. Time and again, we have witnessed South Africans from every walk of life and every background, every language group and every community rally behind our athletes when they represent the nation on the global stage. Earlier, I met the coach of Banyana Banyana, my sister Desiree Ellis. She's here amongst us as well. And I said to her, as our golden girls go out to play, they too carry the hopes and the dreams and the ambitions of our nation. In those moments, we are reminded that we are one people with one flag and with one destiny when they go out to play. This tournament will be no different. In fact, I fully expect that each time Bafana Bafana progresses to the next round, I will be inundated with calls to declare a national public holiday. And I must confess, I may find those calls very, very persuasive. Now, this achievement has not come overnight. The road to the World Cup has required resilience, sacrifice, discipline, and long-term commitment by everyone. It has demanded investment in football development, in grassroots structures, in coaching, in clubs, our wonderful clubs that not only win here at home, like Orlando Pirates after a 22-year drought, and we congratulate them. And we also congratulate Sundowns, who have conquered football on the nation, and they stand and they sit at the top of the continent against the wishes of many nations who wanted to win, and they have won, and we congratulate them and we wish them well. And we therefore extend our gratitude to SAFA, to government, to our Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, to football clubs and all associations, and to our sponsors, to our coaches, to the technical teams and everyone who has worked tirelessly over many years to rebuild and strengthen South African football. Their efforts have helped to restore hope to millions of South Africans. When you arrive in Mexico City, you will not be traveling alone. You will carry with you the hopes, the dreams, and the prayers of more than 62 million South Africans. Our people will be with you every step of the way. That I am sure about. You are not only footballers, you are ambassadors of our democracy, of our resilience, and of our national spirit. The diversity of this squad and the technical team reflects the true character of South Africa, a constitutional democracy founded on dignity, equality, non-racialism, and opportunity for all. You represent the very best of who we are as a people. As ambassadors of our nation, we know that you will do your very best to display the qualities that South Africans admire most. Discipline, and you have a coach who requires discipline at all times. You are armed with humility, professionalism, teamwork, respect, and sportsmanship. Because sport is about more than just scoring goals or winning matches. Sport reflects the values of a society. It teaches us perseverance in adversity, humility in victory, and courage in moments of pressure. And you will be under a lot of pressure when you get on that field and those fields in those faraway lands. History has now presented this generation of Bafana Bafana with a very rare, precious opportunity to rise again and to reclaim South Africa's place amongst the elite nations of world football. We ask you to do one thing: seize the moment. This is your moment, but we want you to know that this is also South Africa's moment. Play with freedom, play with pride of a very proud nation. Play for one another, but play for South Africa and its people. And make this nation even prouder than it already is tonight. We wish you strength, we wish you focus and success as you depart for this tournament. And let me say this clearly: I will be there when you lift the trophy on the 19th of July. And yes, I will gladly declare it a public holiday. So South Africans, you can be sure there is another unexpected public holiday on the way when they bring the cup back. May you have courage in your hearts and steel in your resolve and thunder in your boots. Go and make South Africa proud once again. And I thank you and I wish you the very best. And thank you all for being here to wish them the best of luck. Thank you.
Go and make South Africa proud. The words by the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, still joined by Bongani Khumalo and Thomas Kwenaite. You understand the sense of positivity that is just flowing in the nation's capital. This is a team that, against all odds, rose in terms of the performances that they put in. Everyone has faith in this particular team, Bongs.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they certainly, under Hugo Broos reignited, the passion and interest back into Bafana Bafana. I think that's important to note. Obviously, that would have started with the run, in the AFCON. Most people were very surprised by that. We had a wonderful core of players and, yes, I will say it, Sundowns players would have been exposed to a higher level of football, help reignite all of that passion, all that interest. And that has obviously filtered on to other clubs, to challenge other clubs to get to that level. And that's why now we see such a beautiful mix of players. Certainly when you look at the players that are based in South Africa, there's always going to be an integration with guys that are in Europe. They are still South African. That's very, very important to note. So when you look at all those things coming together and the cherry on top, making it all the way to the World Cup, it truly is a wonderful, wonderful achievement.
And it's a great combination as well, TK, when you look at the youth coming through, Rele Mofokeng, and the experience as well, Tembazwane.
Absolutely. Not only Rele, but you also have Mbokazi. For me, Mbokazi is one of those once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent that comes through. I mean, at only 20 years, he's going to the World Cup. Rele is about 23 years old, and I think the future is very bright. And I can safely say with pride that this is our own golden generation. I mean, the way they've come through during the last couple of years, when we appeared to have almost lost confidence in Bafana Bafana, they came through. And one thing they need to know is that we've invested a lot of emotions in them. And so we'll be standing up, even up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch them, because we are one with them. And I think the recent results have made us feel proud. They've also made us, feel confident that they can do it. Maybe it's the first time in the fourth attempt for them to get out of the group stage.
Yeah, certainly. And great seeing players that came through the DSTV Diski Challenge, the likes of Sipho Chaine, Rele Mofokeng, Teboho Mokoena as well. We head back to the nation's capital to hear from the South African Football Association President, Dr. Denny Jordan.
Good evening, and first of all, Honorable President, Honorable Minister of Sport, Deputy Minister, all other ministers, Chair of the Sport Portfolio Committee in Parliament, the Premier of Gauteng, the MEC of Gauteng, all the government ministers, thank you very much for welcoming us in your house. They asked me, but where is the President's house? I said, no, the President didn't invite us to his house. He invited us to the guest house. So maybe he will show us where his house is. Extending a vote of thanks or words of gratitude are always both a pleasure and an honor, and tonight is no different. A World Cup participation needs an incredible amount of support for which we are grateful. Support from our supporters, and many of them are not here. Support from our commercial partners, and many of them are here. We had a wonderful morning and a good breakfast with Standard Bank, who joined us here tonight, with Adidas, who made our jersey to be listed as one of the most outstanding kit for the national teams going into the World Cup. Mr. President, you must know that the Bafana kit ranks amongst the best kit in the world, particularly the green kit, Mr. President, not the yellow one. The minister is playing for a home kit. It's the away kit, Mr. Minister. You see, I am wrongly dressed, Mr. President, because I had my green shirt on. Then I got a message, no, government is saying it's not time for, and I see the CEO who gave me the message is now put in, no, CEO. I'm the odd one out now. They said, no, it is not a gathering of football. It's a formal gathering. The president is going to come in a bow tie, and now I see they all wonder who's the president now. But we are happy to be here, Mr. President. The supporters also, we must thank the SAFA staff. They work incredibly hard. The SAFA Executive Committee, the SAFA subcommittees, the technical committee, and so on. We want to thank them. But we also want to thank especially your Minister of Sport, Mr. President. When we played a 2-2 draw there in Orlando Stadium, he came into the dressing room. I know that Hugo Broos was not happy because he told us what he thought of that performance, because there was a goal from halfway where the then goalkeeper was not here anymore. We won't mention his name. And he said, I expect better than this. The players were not happy. He said, no, but why are you bringing that man here? He's telling us a lot of nonsense. And we parted ways on that unhappy note. But when things turned and the team became successful, he was the first to acknowledge, no, you've turned things around, I'm happy and I'm supporting you. And he knows that if that support is unconditional and is not compromised by who is in the room or who listens, and now it's on Facebook and Twitter, he is one of our biggest supporters. So I'd like to thank the Minister and the Deputy Minister of Sport, as well as the Parliamentary Committee on Sport. I also would like to thank you, Mr. President. We have come here at your invitation, and I'm sure that all of the players are inspired by your words of wisdom and your support. I didn't want to talk about when I first campaigned with the president in 1994, president. We campaigned together, me and now President Ramaphosa. And for some reason, the ANC asked us, you must go and address the women in the NG Kerk. Yeah, I think it was in Pretoria East. And they listened to the president, and then they asked, mag ons maar 'n paar vrae vra, they said. I said, yes. And they asked, Nelson Mandela, you say he must be the president. Was Nelson Mandela ever a mayor of a city? He said, no. Was Nelson Mandela ever a MEC for sport? No. He said, you see, you bring a man from jail after 27 years, you bring him here and you tell us this is your president. I can see what's going to happen in the country. And he said, no, Nelson Mandela is going to be the president. Did you see he walks? As he walks like a president. And when he talks like a president. And you didn't see him sleep, but when he sleeps like a president. He must be the president. And the one tells the other one, jy weet, wat hy sê is nogal waar. Ek het hom gekyk, he walks like a president. And so they voted for him. I want to say thank you very much. Thank you to all of you to come here. And we want to wish all of our players the very best. You will walk with our support. You walk with our prayer in our heart. And you know that what was in 2010 unfinished business, you will now have to finish it in Mexico. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ke Bafana ya rona, Bafana kaofela. This is the world spectacle, and of course it is the FIFA World Cup for 2026, starting on the 11th of June, culminating on the 19th of July. And as we mentioned, everything can wait, because we will give you all the games live on your World of Champions, and of course with comprehensive build-up, giving you everything that you need to know ahead of the kickoff. So it's exciting times. The players are looking forward to what should be a fantastic tournament. Already everyone is talking. Did your players or your favorite players, did they make it into the 26-man squad? That is the big question. But as far as we can go, Bongs, everyone is happy with the selection. It's a well-balanced team.
Yeah, I think so. I think, obviously, when you look at, in terms of age, it is generally a young squad. But it's good to see, players like Ocon who've now made it. I think what it does, for a young player, just to be involved. I mean, if you get minutes, even better. But to be involved, to understand the level, the highest level, be around the best players, I think what that does to you, from a young age, is really plant a seed that can really grow and force you, or rather encourage you to then push on in terms of where you take your career.
Brandon Peterson, not part of the team that will travel to the World Cup. Here are the selected goalkeepers: Ronan Williams, Ricardo Goss, Sipho Chain. It answers your question, TK.
It does perfectly. But as I said, when I looked at the way the last 10 games of the season were, I thought Brendan had a shouting chance of getting in there. But take nothing away from Sipho or Ricardo Goss. I mean, they have also been outstanding for their respective clubs, and we are standing behind them. We support them, and we hope they represent us well.
We go then to the defenders that have been chosen. This is your area of expertise, Bongs. The likes of Tabang Matuluri, Nkosinathi, Sibisi, Ime, Ocon.
Yeah, there's good size. The players that you mentioned, Ndamane, Ocon, good size. Mbugazi is strong, but perhaps, in terms of height, but he makes up for that in terms of the power that he has. He really gets close up to people and makes things uncomfortable. I think that's always been the question mark in terms of how we deal with set pieces. But there's enough quality when it comes to the feet, playing up the back, and just 1v1 battles, athleticism. I think we have all of that within that list.
Kulumani, Ndamane, Bradley Cross.
Yeah, I think, Bradley for me was quite a huge surprise. I didn't see it coming, but he made it, and congratulations to him. And Ndamane, I think Ndamane, there was a game, he had a shocker of a game, and I thought that would cost him a place in the national team. But when you look back at the CAF Champions League final against AS FAR in Morocco, I think he redeemed himself. I think that is where he showed the qualities of being a very, very good defender. And I'm sure Bongs must have been proud of him, watching him play in that game against AS FAR.
Yeah, it was brilliant, especially, under a hostile environment. I think that's worth noting, because that's what the World Cup is. It brings all different types of pressures. Mentally, you'll be so exhausted after the World Cup game, because the quality is such at a level where generally the ball hardly goes out, so the ball's always in play. So you always need to be switched on to situations, moving, shuffling, and that can be very draining mentally. And obviously, one little slight slip, with the quality that you now exposed to, you get punished. So it's a really, really high level, and these players have a wonderful opportunity to show their stuff.
Very important to note, Mbekezeli Mbokazi as well. Since his first call-up, he's been one of the consistent performers for Coach Hugo Broos. As now we move on to the midfielders that have been selected: Teboho Mokoena, Jaden Adams, Spelo Sitelo, and Talente Mbata.
Yeah, look, I think this is the best of the best. For me, Teboho, we spoke about him. We saw what he did in Morocco over the weekend, and he has been doing it consistently over the years, whether in a national team jersey or in the, for Mamelodi Sundowns, previously for SuperSport United. And Pepelo Sitole, they call him Yaya. I think after the Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, where he was very, very outstanding, brilliant, in a brilliant partnership with Teboho, he suffered an injury that I personally believe set him back a little bit, and I wasn't sure that he will make it to the World Cup, but he's fought his way back. Here he is going to the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and talent. We see what he does at Orlando Pirates or when he's selected for the national team. And Jaden, I don't need to say much about Jaden.
Generational talent to that
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We focus on the strikers now. Oswin Apollos, Tepang Moremi, Evidence Makopa, Lyle Foster, Ikram Reyners. That is one that maybe a lot of people were not expecting, but of late the performances have been right up there.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, look, he's still a top goal scorer within the league, and he scores a different variety of goals outside the box, inside the box, left foot, right foot, with the head. So he has all the attributes that you need at this level, and most importantly, the breakout pace. I think that's always something worth noting. If you're going to be under pressure, if you're going to be deep, you need someone to get you out, and that list has a little bit of everything. Mahopa, really good size, had a good experience in the AFCON, which will help him, put him in good stead for what's to come. Should he play, get an opportunity within this World Cup. Obviously, Lyle Foster is exposed to a high level of football as well, and Themba Zwane is a brilliant footballer who just finds spaces where most players don't. So there's a really good balance in there, and it's just about the combinations on the day.
We've touched on the importance of the DSTV Disky Challenge with regards to the players coming in, but now we need to give plaudits to the domestic league, the PSL. When you look at the squad composition, you look at Orlando Pirates winning a treble, you look at the kings of the continent in Mamelodi Sundowns. The proof is there. The talent is right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so happy that Hugo Broos has managed to build this squad around the core of Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates players. When you look at it, Pirates have just won the Betway Premiership Championship, and Mamelodi Sundowns won the CAF Champions League as well. And he took the core of the two teams to build his team. And you've got to give credit to the Betway Premier League. When you look at the number of players that are coming out of the Betway Premiership that can go and dominate in Africa and also go into the World Cup, we expect a little bit more from them. Your Oswin Opolis, Abo Relemo Fokeng, Abo Evidence Makopa, and as I say, we are expecting a lot more from these boys.
Certainly, and talking about homegrown talents, it's the first time this season, since the 2017-2018 season, that the Player of the Month recipient has been all local players. It talks about the PSL and their dominance.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And, obviously when Pirates didn't qualify for the Champions League, CAF Champions League, it was a bit worrying knowing that we have a World Cup coming. We need players playing at under stress. And the last thing that you want is a league that finishes way too early as it has in previous years. So very, very encouraging that the stress has remained right up until the end. It's kept us as, supporters and spectators on our toes, which is brilliant. But what it's done for our national team is basically put our players in a position of serious confidence, understanding pressures involved with high-level competition, and that coming into a World Cup brings about so much ease. So it really is the most perfect situation to have Pirates win the league, and then Sundowns then win the CAF, have those two players then join hands and go to a World Cup. It's, we couldn't have written a better fairy tale story for South African football.
Yeah, I think when you look at the fact that the core of this team is made up of players from that participate in the Betway Premier League, it also gave Helman Kelele and Hugo Broos the opportunity to go around the country, personally watch them week in, week out. He didn't have to go overseas where maybe players, not that it's a bad thing to go to Europe, it's the best thing that could happen to your country, but Hugo Broos had a unique situation where he was able to go around the country to watch these players, and when he selected them, he knew that these are the kind of players that can effectively implement the system that I want to play against either Mexico, the Czech Republic, or South Korea. Because he can watch them every day, not on video, but personally live at every match over weekends.
the teams represented domestically in that Bafana Bafana squad as Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Siwelele, Kaizer Chiefs, and Polokwane City. That is just focusing on the domestic league. And now we focus on the players that didn't make the cut, as we'll be looking at some of the names that, of course, will not be making the trip. First up, we spoke about it, and that is Brandon Peterson. You also look at Thabiso Munyane, but I think a lot of people will have question marks around Thapelo Morena.
Yeah, you could say so. Obviously he's a versatile player, a lot of experience, and has had a lot of success in his career. But, it becomes a very difficult conversation to have. For those players, well done to them to getting this far. And they've had wonderful seasons. And for them now, it's just, rest, recover, and prepare for another season where you're either defending a title or you're chasing one. So it really is unlucky, and it can be heartbreaking in these type of situations.
Patrick Tito Maswanganyi?
Yeah, Tito had a, on and off kind of season, but he's the kind of player you can always rely on. He can come up, pop in with something magical, a moment of magic, and give you a goal. So he's somebody that can sniff out a goal out of nothing, So, yeah, a little bit disappointed, but I think, he should, like the others, he should be proud to have made, the squad, even though he didn't make the final squad, but to be mentioned in, the prelim squad, I think it's an achievement on its own.
Bongs, the nerves are out of the way. Now it's just excitement. Please expand on how the final 26 players are feeling.
Well, you have a preparation game to get through, so I think that takes first priority. Obviously the coach then decides, do I field the players that start in the opening game, or, do I mix things around? Is it experimental? I think it's probably the latter. And obviously the experience of playing in an opening game is very, very unique. You literally have, it's not just South Africans, it's the whole world, because it's the opening game. Everybody watches the opening ceremony. So it really does carry a special, special weight and expectation for both nations involved. Obviously I was very fortunate enough to have experienced the pressure as a home team, but now that's now transferred to the Mexican side and how they'll deal with that. So that, obviously us coming in as an away team, a little bit of an underdog situation. So start bright, you might catch them cold. I mean, we got a little bit lucky. We conceded the first few minutes, but it was offside. And then, thereafter you're able to sort of work your way into the game, the nerves settle. And by the time they settle, we were at a point where no damage was done, and that's where you want to get to. But we have that advantage now as South Africa, so it's important. Start on the front foot, put them under pressure as the home side, and let's see what we get out of it.
What type of inspiration can they source from the team that played against Mexico in 2010, TK?
Sphiwe Tshabalala. I think when you look at the way he took that goal in the opening game, a game that was watched globally, Sphiwe maybe is the kind of player that can, like Bongs was part of that team, but Sphiwe, the way he took that goal, I think maybe get a few minutes to talk to the players, send a kind of send off to them. Maybe also give Relay and the others a few tips what to do and how he managed to score that goal on that. And incidentally, the 11th of June, 20 years ago, is it? 16 years ago, on the very same day, we will be playing Mexico again. It's quite coincidental. That game ended in a draw, and maybe it's up to Bafana Bafana to take it. Bongs was playing about them, coming at us and all that, in the second half, really putting us under pressure because we were at home. It was just so much, such an emotive game. Maybe now this generation can turn the tables, in their home game, put pressure on them, and then maybe they can do the impossible. Nothing is impossible in life.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Shaba's goal. You did something similar, right? Right, Bongs? Cup Champions League. Is this the time?
It's a time for everyone involved.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity, take it, and we'll talk about you for many years to come.
put your name in the history books. Let's look at the fixtures that you can look forward to watching only on your World of Champions. And of course, with a comprehensive build-up, we have all the games live and in the splendor of high definition. First game, this is the one that sets the tone. Mexico up against South Africa. That is the game where they have a massive point to prove.
I agree with you, and the Mexico game, when you remember 2010, also the build-up to that goal. Just watch the build-up to that goal. And this current team has the ability to break down opponents. They have a way of, they can implement a certain passing game that can break down even big teams. And who knows? But that Mexico game will set the tone for the rest of the tournament.
That's where they can get their momentum and then be able to go on and focus on other games. This was the reason that we all met up today, because of the squad announcement. 26 players chosen, carefully selected by Coach Hugo Broos. Bafana Bafana, re kaofela boss.
100%. And that's it's with great pride, these players get to experience this. World Cup is, everyone has memories. You go to school, you rush home to watch the games, try and catch as many games as you can. And now to be in a position to actually be involved and have all the country's eyes on you, it truly is a special position to be in.
If you could use one word, TK, to describe this Bafana Bafana squad, what would it be?
Magical.
Ooh.
Simply magical. You watch them, and especially, I know that Tembazwane has slowed up a little bit, and he's aging and all that, but you can see when he's there, he can find pockets of spaces, and he can just simply, kind of inspire this team. But even if he's not there sitting on the bench, this particular team has a way of playing that inspires confidence when you watch them play. They play without fear, but they also play with flair. And that's the difference about this team.
Ushukela.
Banayo, bayayifaka nje.
Ile nto siyidingayo ku World Cup.
Nje.
Well, today, big announcement made. 26 players selected to go and represent South Africa. Allow me to thank Bongani Khumalo, former Bafana Bafana International, and the sharpest mind when it comes to continental football, Thomas Kwenayite. We came, we saw, it is now all up to Bafana Bafana to go and conquer. Come the 11th of June 2026. Well, from myself, Lerato Pajo, the entire team on your World of Champions, it is goodbye. Enjoy the football on your World of Champions until we meet again.
Every continent on the face of the globe, to every lover of the game, wherever you are, that is the World Cup.
On a gagné cette Coupe du Monde. On est combien à pouvoir dire ça?
Wenn du den jetzt reinmachst, sind wir Weltmeister.
Messi.